I'm 24 and I've never had friends. I'm 24 and I've never had any friends. I moved a lot during my teens on top of being introverted and having social anxiety. I can't even describe how difficult it was for me after changing schools so many times. I even moved to another country once for like 2 years. I've never been to a party, or movies or pretty much anything with a friend. Obviously I've never been in a relationship either. I knew probably one guy in college and we only ever talked about schoolwork. I've graduated from college and am finishing up an online certificate program and will start my job search in a couple months. It's so difficult. It's really easy for people to say, go make friends, but you don't understand how hard it can be. Everyone I used to know from the various schools I went to are all doing so well. It doesn't matter if what they show on social media is not true. They still have friends. They still live normal lives.
I wanna change but I don't know what to do.
I just don't have any experience. I don't deserve this, I just want to be happy. Where should I go? What should I do? If people make friends, they make them in school and college. And for me that's all gone. All those chances and gone and will never come back. All anyone cares about at my age are their careers. Sorry to hear of your struggles. I want to ask you a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Do you think it's possible you might be unconsciously afraid of people or of having friends? Is it possible you might not want friends or, at the very least, not want the people you're encountering as friends? Sometimes our own unconscious reluctance can impede our ability to make friends. And that's okay. Because that might be more in tune with who you are and your unacknowledged personal standards and comfort. For instance, you might be an unconscious introvert and find the whole prospect of making and maintaining friends too much work for too little return in the sense of who you're really looking for or need as a friend. It took me a while to realize this about myself. Making friends at a certain time in my life just wasn't a priority for me, yet the cultural patterns still made me feel that I needed to make friends like everyone else. As a result, it didn't come naturally to me, which no doubt made it harder. Friendship can be a lot of work and involve compromises you might feel inwardly unwilling to make. So don't be afraid to question whether you really want to find friends at all. Just be yourself, be nice, be open and welcoming to others, but don't put pressure on yourself to achieve something that doesn't come naturally to you. I've had times in my life when I had great friends and times when I didn't have any, and I can assure you there are advantages to both. I'm sincerely worried I am going to cheat on my boyfriend of 5 years. As the title states, I, female 26, have been with my boyfriend, male 29, for 5 years. And before I get roasted, no, I have never cheated or cheated adjacent on him. I love him so much. He is my best friend in the world and I am still very attracted to him. But he is the worst sex I have ever had. He can't last more than 5 minutes at a time, and I feel like I have tried a lot of things to try and fix this. I'll give him blowjobs earlier in the day. I'll slow down while we are having sex. Nothing. If I have sex with him and then try again, he physically cannot finish and doesn't look into it at all. I've communicated this with him multiple times over the years. He takes it well but doesn't change anything. On top of this, I have a much higher libido than him. This is another issue we have. If I don't initiate sex, we realistically would probably only have sex once, maybe twice a month. I've told him it would be nice for me if he could last longer, and he said, "You don't actually want that." Every time we have sex, it also feels like he's not into it at all. He doesn't seem to care about my pleasure either. He goes down on me maybe 2 to 3 times a year. I feel worried that maybe he is no longer attracted to me. I am not sure what else I can do. I'm not an ogre. I would consider myself conventionally good looking. But maybe he is just tired of the same thing. He consistently talks about getting married, but to be honest, I don't know if I want to marry someone when the sex is this bad. I am so sexually frustrated. I don't know what else to do about this. Edit. I am in no way saying I intend or want to cheat, nor do I have anyone in mind. My ideal scenario would be for us to find a way to work it out. I just haven't had sex that has been fulfilling in a very long time. Edit 2. We have tried toys, sort of. I suggested and have purchased some toys for us to try, and when I've asked if he wants to break them out, his answer is no. I bought a vibrating penis ring a few months ago because I thought he'd maybe be into something more tame, and it is currently collecting dust on our shelf. You should watch The Principles of Pleasure on Netflix. It's an amazing 3-part series and talks about how important orgasms and regular, great sex is for mental health overall for women. It talks about so much more, but one episode alone covers sex and relationships. Highly recommend. I think the world doesn't want to understand female sexuality, or believe women want and love to have sex, much more than men in a lot of cases. For him to say, "You don't actually want that," infuriates me. You deserve to be in the clouds every time you're intimate, so I can understand you feeling this way 100%. I know it's hard to think about, but sexual compatibility is very important in relationships. You need to decide if this is what you want to deal with for the rest of your life. I'm serious. Plus, if he doesn't make any effort to please you in the bedroom, I'm not convinced that he's so perfect out of the bedroom either. It sounds shallow, but honestly consider if this is what you want for yourself, because it sounds to me like you don't if you are thinking of cheating. I am going to be that girl. After a year of meeting people and not really going anywhere, I've decided to take a few years off dating. I got my heart ripped repeatedly, and it wasn't worth it at all. I know it isn't healthy, but I feel bitter towards my friend who has a boyfriend. It's been a month since my last breakup and I'm still slowly healing. Very slowly. Everything still hurts. I still get up and look for messages although they aren't coming. I can't even look at posts about relationships right now. I've deleted every social media and it's going to be like that for a while. I've decided I'm going to focus on myself the next few years. I'm getting better at it too. I've enjoyed getting clothes and admiring myself in them. I've started reading again and I'm going out more. Every once in a while I blame myself for it not working out. I don't know if it is mine to blame. Those moments are gone, and I don't think I want them anymore. I'm just gonna be geeking at my degree, which I adore, and thrift for pretty princess dresses. I'm going to be one of those girls who loves their lives and don't need anyone to validate it. I'm going to buy a cake and eat it. Bake fresh bread and watch TV while I do it. Look at dresses while I slip into a slumber. At the end of the day, I think this has been one of the most painful yet important decisions I'll make. I still cry when I read. Those memories still play over and over again in my head. I can't wait for the day for me to wake up and realize I haven't thought about them for a few days. I've gotten one exquisite Liz Lisa dress that looks drop-dead gorgeous. Gorgeous. P.S. Yes, I am listening to Taylor Swift and she rocks. It's the only music that makes me feel better. Good for you. I decided to do this at the start of this year. Had a breakup that made me realize how skewed my reactions were. How much I chose fear over love, and how a deep-seated feeling of inadequacy was influencing all my choices. I decided that deep healing would only come when I chose myself and relearned how to love my life after so long in ISO. It isn't easy, and people have come into my life organically despite it all, but I think sometimes it's just what you need to do. If you long to be embraced and celebrated by yourself but you can't even do those things for yourself, it is so hard to accept them even if they do come your way. I hope this time is fruitful for you, even with these memories that are so hard to shift. Sometimes it's so easy to blame yourself and ruminate on all the things you should have said or done so you can create the illusion of control, but things shall be as they must. Maybe you do need time for that, to dwell and work through those thoughts. It takes tremendous courage to sit with yourself in the quiet, but the rewards are second to none. My boyfriend called me weird for driving to see him. I've been dating my boyfriend a few months now. He's an amazing man, but I haven't seen him in a month though because he's out of town for work. I wanted to see him though, so drove about 2 hours to have dinner a couple days ago. It went well, but at one point he mentioned how he thought it was weird I drove so far just to see him. I just laughed and told him I wouldn't anymore if that's what he wanted, which I meant as a joke, but he said it'd probably be best. I didn't know how to respond, so just changed topics. The thing is, he's the only person I really have, so I don't know if what I did is something you usually do in a relationship. I don't have much in the way of family, my friends are his family and I've never been in a relationship before. So maybe it is weird, he definitely seemed to think so. We haven't talked much since either and it's been 4 days and I don't know if driving up made him uncomfortable or something. I've felt bad since he said it and I just wanted an outside opinion. You need to find some friends because he isn't it. I would love for my so to come drive all the way and have dinner with me. Start going out by yourself in your town and try to meet some friends. He won't be in your life always nor should he for saying that. Edit. And you had this planned a week before and he still said it was weird? This man doesn't deserve you and it doesn't want you. I'm sorry. Take the hint, he's not into you at all, or he has a side chick there, or you're the side chick. Either way he definitely isn't into you. If my husband was working only 2 hours away for work, he'd be driving the 2 hours to see me on the regular and wouldn't go an entire month not seeing me. 2 hours isn't far and not seeing each other for a whole month and thinking it's weird you wanted to see him is the actual weird part. My 43 female husband of 22 years got another woman pregnant 3 years ago.
My husband and I have been married for 22 years, and have 4 kids together, and I am currently pregnant again.
He was divorced once before and has a daughter and son from that previous marriage.
He came from an affluent family while I came from a poor background and dropped out of high school in my junior year. I eventually did get my GED, but only just recently.
We live internationally and are currently expats in Cyprus, but we were both born in New York. It was actually around 2 years ago that we moved again overseas. We had lived as expats in Dubai, London, and Switzerland before. He told me that he was expanding his business there and wanted to invest in a house. He sold me on Cyprus being great for families. It was rather sudden but I agreed, especially when he said he wanted to have one more child and I also always wanted a big family. 2 years go by, and I decided to start a fashion and travel blog on Instagram and gained followers. Then one day I get a direct message from a woman. She says that she has proof that my husband had an affair with her and also told me that her daughter was my husband's daughter. I didn't believe it at first but she sent me pictures he had sent her, messages between them, and a picture of what looked to be a DNA test confirming that. She also said that she wasn't the only woman he was with but he said he loved her until she got pregnant. I call my mother-in-law who always knows everything and she breaks down and says it was true and she's so ashamed for keeping it a secret. She wanted me to find out for myself. She admits that the woman has been trying to serve my husband with paternity papers and that she had a copy of a positive DNA test because my husband had left a toothbrush and clothes at her place. My mother-in-law calls my husband right after our conversation to confess what she had told me and my husband raced home. He said it was a mistake and happened because he was traveling a lot without me there and was stressed. He told me I was the only one he loved and that this woman got pregnant on purpose and he didn't want to reward her for it. He told me that I would never have to see this kid and that he wouldn't ever publicly acknowledge the kid and that I could be the only one who ever talked to the other woman. He says he has 6 kids, with a 7th on the way, and there is no extra kid. The revelation has shocked me so much. I am 4 months pregnant now, and I always suspected that when he and business associates went out to strip clubs to do business, he may have caved and had sex with somebody a few times. I was very upset about it but never brought it up with my husband. This is a full-blown affair and I don't know if we can come back from this. I have been acting like none of this ever happened but I cannot anymore. What do? I want to protect my kids and their relationship with their father. I also have no real education and am afraid of going back to the US on my own. I know I am technically a stepmother of 3 now but my husband says I am not.